everybody, and welcome along to the fourth round of the WCS BMW E90 Championship here from Zandvoort in the Netherlands. We are set for three fantastic races today, and well, let's just hope they've been as good as the previous week, because well, if it's go there or anything to go by, it should be indeed. I'm Josh Anderson. I'll be taking you round the action today here at Zandvoort, and I'm joined as ever in the commentary box by Sam Jones and Menno Klont on camera. Sam, looking like some good races from the Netherlands today.
Yeah, good evening, Josh. Good evening, everyone at home. And yeah, it looks like it should be a good one. We've already had qualifying, haven't we? And we've seen some blistering lap times coming in thick and fast there. And now I think it's going to be quite tight, quite close. And around this track as well, it's such a tight circuit. Overtaking's not easy, but the battling should be good. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, we've had some great things go on so far, and to name a few, qualifying. The first bit of qualifying, of course, being that Argo Tita has gotten pole position for CM Tech on a 1:37.161. He did that on his last possible lap, eclipsing Lars Brugman by 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, right at the end as well. It was really impressive stuff, and I didn't think he was going to do it. I was watching his lap, and I thought it looks good, but it didn't look spectacular. But I think he was so clean and so smooth throughout that he just managed to rifle the lap in right at the end there. Really impressive stuff. Last car out on track. It was the perfect way to do it, really, and really pleased for him as well, because he's had some very good showings over the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, it's had some really good showings as Argo Tita, and of course, I think he got the win last time out as well, so he's going to be wanting to continue that run of form that he has going on at the moment.
Yeah, I think he will be. It's certainly, it's not going to be easy though. We saw it last week, didn't we? Well, 2 weeks ago actually now at Bathurst. It feels like a week ago to me for some reason, but we just saw different winners in each race, and I think that's showing how competitive this field can be, especially with the reverse grid as well. It certainly helps to just shake things a little bit up between races also. So interested to see what we'll see in the forthcoming races, and I certainly don't think it's going to be predictable.
Winner of race 2 last time out was Tita, and I'm sure that he'll be hoping to make it yet another win here at Zandvoort. And well, interesting circuit in its own right, Zandvoort. We've not obviously raced here for if ever a while in the WCS. Obviously, since we've come back, we haven't raced here at all. But you know, an interesting circuit in its own right. 2.68 miles long, 4.3 kilometers if you use the metric system, and well, some very tricky corners here, like Tarzan, which is turn 1. Not easy to get right all the time. You got the Hanshurst and Hugenholtz complex as well. You got all these corners around here, all these potential disaster points for the drivers if they don't get it right, Sam.
Yeah, I've found in the past as well that say going into turns 6, 7, and 8, they're all quite fast corners, all of them right-handers as well, and it's just so easy to lose the car there and go off into the gravel trap. And of course, there's not actually that much in the way of runoff on any of these corners either. It's not too long before you hit the wall, so that's going to be the killer today. I think is anyone who makes a mistake, they're really going to pay for it.
They are going to do it. It's really not going to be easy for drivers here today, and well, especially not easy for our championship leader Sven de Vries, who it's so not easy for him that he's not here.
Is he not here?
Sven de Vries is not here. Lars Brugman is.
I believe he is here. He's currently in the pit lane. He's coming up.
Well, he is. Yeah. Well, his name was Boom. So I'm such a good commentator that I don't even know who's here and who's not.
Certainly.
Well, apologies for that. Sven de Vries is here, and it won't be easy for him as championship leader. He is tied on points with Lars Brugman in going into this round, and they are only 2 points ahead of Ilja Picalo. So that's how close this championship is, and the only reason Sven ahead at the moment is because, well, actually, Lars Brugman has more wins, so he should be ahead, really. Championship standings just bugging up for me, unfortunately, but yeah, it should be Lars Brugman leading the championship, and they're tied on points because he has 2 wins to de Vries' 1. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes for them going into turn 1, especially at this track.
Yeah, it certainly is. I didn't actually realise it was that close between the leaders, and of course Bricalo's not far behind either, is he? So it really is quite exciting stuff at the moment here in the BMWs. But certainly turn 1 is where I think it could be won or lost today. It's not going to be an easy one to get round, and then after that you're into quite a few corners as well, twisty, all the way through the middle sector, up the hill, and back down again towards the chicane towards the end of sector 2. And I think that's going to be the case that drivers are going to have to get the moves in early here if they want to gain the positions before they have to kind of settle in and just be patient.
Yeah, I think that's going to be what's going to be key for these drivers on the first opening couple of laps. We've got a couple of moments before the race, so we're just going to run you through the Drivers' Championship going into this round at Zandvoort. As we say, Lars Brugman leading on wins alone, tied on points with Sven de Vries. Both have 122, but Lars Brugman has won 2 races this season. Sven de Vries just the one. Then 2 points behind is Ilja Picalo for YTF1 on 120 points, and it's Argo Tida, our pole sitter for the race one here. But we are actually about to go to the race. Tida 4th, Simon Watman 5th on 95 for Backmarker Legends. Then it follows Verzile, Van Woudenberg, Koenig, De Vos, Bajarik, Leritis, Wicks, Van Woudenberg, all trailing behind. And, well, at this point in time, you can't really look past really the top 7 for the championship, but it is only the 4th round of the season. As, well, we've just restarted the warm-up again, so... Yeah, Watman 5th, always want to watch out for in these races, Sam, because he does seem to have some quite good showings as Watman, and he's already got a podium this season.
Yeah, he has. He's going to be right at the back, though, isn't he? So it's going to be one of the guys to watch out for is Simon Watman. And I think, though, the field isn't too big today, and I think he's got the pace to carve his way through. He's just got to try and avoid some incidents. I think this time around, though, the track's a little bit easier than it was at Bathurst, so I don't think we're quite going to see so much wrecking. I think we're going to see a lot of good racing instead. So definitely I'll keep one eye on Simon Watman, but I think my other eye is definitely going to be on the guys in front, because we've got some very strong contenders near the front of the field today.
Yes, we do, and they're all taking off now to start their formation laps. So it will be Argo Tida leading us away at race 1 here at Zandvoort in the CM Tech BMW. He got pole position from Lars Brugman, who is surprisingly not in the Wouters car. He's driving for Performance Racing today in that number 39 car, stepping in for Philip Koenig, and he is P2. Bart de Vos 3rd in the number 30 Wouters car. Then it is Sven de Vries directly behind in P4. Championship 2nd place at the moment, then. He'll want to beat Lars. Lucas Leritt is currently in 5th place and will take the start from there for Thunder Motorsport, and he'll be looking for some well-earned points. Peter Van Woudenberg, a race winner in the series already. He will start P6, and then it is Ilja Picalo with a win to his name in the championship. 3rd place in said championship, starting from 7th. Then it's Brett Metcalf in P8 for Dale Tech, and that is not a bad result for Brett. I expect he will probably get a good result from here, to be honest with you. And Roy Verzile, though, really want to put the dampers on that potentially. 6th in the championship, but he's got very good pace, and if he can string some good starts together and get some wins under his belt, he can be right back in this championship fight. Eric Stanford, 10th for Squire Motorsports VRT. Then it's Perry Vink in 11th in the guest car, followed by another guest car, this time with Mark Wicks in it. 11th and 12th start Vink and Wicks. Theodoros Azaroglu will start 13th in the other Thunder car, and he is followed by Simon Watman, the ever-present Watman, in 14th place in that number 23 Backmarker Legends car. Rounding out the field, it is another Watman, but this time of the David variety. No Matthias today, but David Watman will drive the number 24 car for Backmarker Legends, rounding out the field. So, we've still got a while to go until we get to the start-finish, Sam, but it could be interesting to see how this start goes.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a bit of a slow lap at the moment by Argo Zeb, but of course he has every right to take the field around as quickly or as slowly as he wants. Certainly not much in the way of tyre warm-up currently by the pole sitter, so I'm going to be interested to see how that's going to affect some of these guys behind him as well. But looking at the field, it's hard to say. We've had so many winners here, but I'm going to actually go for today. I think he's had a good run lately, and that qualifying lap was super impressive. He's going to be my winner for race 1.
Yeah, a lot of impressive faces on the grid today. Brugman, De Vos, De Vries, Van Woudenberg, the likes of them. And I think, personally, I can't see past Lars Brugman from 2nd place in that Performance Motorsport car winning this race. I think Lars, they've really signed a very good driver in him, and he could have a really good chance of doing this. So, The drivers line up on the grid. David Watman last, and we will see exactly who goes where here at Zandvoort as we wait for the lights to illuminate. 3 rows of red here at the Dutch circuit, and we are going to get this race underway as soon as they all extinguish. Just waiting for them to start before we can obviously get any sort of racing underway, as we are lighting up here in Zandvoort, and it's green. Tina gets a good start off the line, but it's an even better one from De Vries, who's charging through into turn 1 to try and get past his own teammate De Vos here. Sven looks to have the line going into Tarzan, and he's got the line out of it under Lease until he comes off the track there. But is he lagged out? I think he has, you know. Something has gone wrong for Sven De Vries before he's even got to turn 1, and that one puts him way down the order. But Bart De Vos got a decent enough start, and he's going to be there to try and make up for his teammates. Brookman drops a position to 3rd, very uncharacteristic, but I'm sure he'll try and make it back up in the later stages of this race. Lucas Lertus in 4th place, a good start from him too. Van Woudenberg of note. Maziles jumped 2 places and is going for Vink for 3, and he's going to try and push himself into there. De Vries does disconnect. Maziles, though, not able to get past Vink just yet.
Yeah, I can't believe that. De Vries is out already. He had a decent start, didn't he? Brugman really poor off the line, and he's currently down in 3rd place, but still with De Vos and there right in front of him. There's a guy go round behind Peter van Wilderberg's go round, and Perry Winks actually come together with Brett Metcalf as well. There's another driver further back. I think that's Eric Stanford that's also got caught up in it. So a huge loss for Stanford and Wink as well. They've both lost a huge number of positions.
Yeah, Van Woudenberg involved there. Perry Vink just seemed to go to the inside, and he got collected by Vazail, he's got collected by half the field, including Metcalf. Everyone just clouting Perry Vink there, and he could not get away from that. I would really be surprised if that BMW was evaded damage. They're made of strong stuff, but even that much is not possible. Sven De Vries has rejoined. He will take himself back into the race, but he'll be a lap down. And that is going to hurt the Americans' chances of a race win, or even decent points, unfortunately. But it's going to be a real case of trying to get back for Sven now. But Algo Tida, the leader in the early stages of this Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah, and Vassal and Van Wildenberg are going side by side into 1. Vassal holds onto the position though. I seem to remember also that De Vries disconnected at the first race at Bathurst, so it seems to be a recurring problem for him, and certainly a bit of bad luck, but at least he's back in the race on the lead lap just about. But I think he's going to struggle to find many positions unless anyone else drops out of the running here.
Yeah, he is going to have a bit of a struggle here, Sven. Similar problems to before, perhaps, for the American. Well, we'll wait and see if he can get a comeback going on here. Remember, top 10 reversed for race 2 and race 3, I believe. Unless it is just race 3 that it gets reversed. Memory's failing a bit today, but it's not going to stop me from talking about the action on track. So, these 3 at the start, at the front, we got Tida, De Vos, Brugman, all still dueling it out for this P1. 1.5 seconds separated them in the last split, which is a fairly large gap, if I'm quite honest. Not really any immediate action going on in that front, but Brugman is not letting De Vos go here.
No, he's not. He looks like he's starting to reel him in a little bit. The gap's down to, it says 0.6 of a second on the timing, but I feel like it's a bit closer than that as they come around the final couple of corners. We'll find out when they go across the line this time by, but certainly it's close between the top 3. Lucas Litteris is just starting to fall away a little bit behind, just try to hold on, and yeah, the gap's down to actually about half a second between the two, and Brugman breaks very late into turn 1 as well, really pushing hard and just trying to regain that ground lost at the very start of the race.
He is trying his hardest here, isn't he, Lars Brugman, to get past Bart De Vos, and he's doing a fairly good job. De Vos gets a little bit loose there as we come down the run through here, and then into Rob Slottermack the corner afterwards. And, well, Brugman is really giving it the full beans here at what is his home circuit. We got quite a few Dutch drivers on the grid, so all of them wanting to do well here as we come through Scheivlak. And, well, my Dutch is not on point, but my corner names are. And as we come into Masters now, Brugman still chasing down. I would really wager that gap is 0.3 of a second at the moment between them. Brugman in prime position to make a go into turn 1.
Yeah, the leads are actually catching up with De Vries as well. He's only just a couple of seconds away, and well, Tadare is got to catch him first, but Mark de Vos, I think he's going to be thinking more about Brugman right now, because Brugman is all over the back of him. Not going to be close enough here to have a go into the chicane, but make no mistake, Brugman's going to keep pushing, and perhaps if he can get a good run out the final couple of corners, he could have a go down into turn 1.
He is going to have a fantastic run here at Nakumo, and then Eilandijk right afterwards. He's going to go through 1, then through 2, then onto the front straight into Tarzan. He's going to have a fantastic run, but is it going to be enough for Brugman? He's going to get the slipstream, and I'd imagine he'll look down as we come past the start finish here. He moves to the... Does he move to the right? He doesn't move to the right. He decides not to go for it, and that's fair enough. He was quite far back. I think he just wants to keep this run on De Vos going until the Belgian makes a mistake and he can securely go through to second and challenge Tita for the race lead.
Yeah, certainly patience being played here by Brugman. Now he starts to poke his nose out a little bit going into turn 3 there, but not quite on, and he's not panicking just yet, but of course these laps will go down very quickly, and the more he's behind De Vos, the more agitated I'm sure he'll surely get. He's looking left, right, but this is really no place to overtake up the hill, and then down into turns 5 and 6 here. It's very fast stuff, and I think De Vries has just got out of the way ahead as well. Yeah, he's letting them all through now. That's good effort by De Vries, getting right off the track onto the dust and dirt and everything. That's not going to be any good for his tyres, but kept his lead battle very much alive here. And De Vries actually got into the wall behind as well, so definitely issues.
Yeah, these two, Brugman and De Vos, really fighting it out as we come back down this run into Como again. Well, this isn't Como actually, this is the bit before that. And yeah, these two as they round Hans Est, and then the corner afterwards, then it's the run into Como, and well, Ross Brugman is really not letting up, as we say. I think he's just waiting for the perfect opportunity to pass De Vos here, and after that we'll know for sure whether he's going to have a go into Tarzan, which of course is turn 1. So, are you going to go for it this time, Lars? That's the question. The answer will be decided by the time we get to turn 1. But will he go for it? Well, I don't think he's even going to look at it. He doesn't have the he does not have the speed differential, Sam, to overtake Bard into turn 1.
No, there certainly seems to be no gain by Brugman down straight. He's definitely quicker through the corners, though, that's for sure. Through these very fast, tight, twisty sections of the track. He's all over the back of De Vos. But of course, that's not the place you really want to be overtaken. And to be fair to De Vos, he's doing well so far. I don't want to jinx him or anything, but he hasn't made too many mistakes, and he's actually keeping up with Tadera in front. It's not hampering his speed at all, as Brugman again getting so close to that rear bumper, but just not quite finding a gap to go down.
I was about to say, Tina's going to get dragged into this battle for third at the moment if he doesn't speed up, because now the race leader has fallen into the clutches of De Vos, who's doing a good enough job defending Brugman. I'm thinking maybe Lars is going to try and sit back as he knows they're catching. Maybe he wants these two to battle, which they're now doing, before he makes his move, and it would be really clever if he manages to go for this.
It would be, but is anything actually going to happen down into the chicane? Once again, it doesn't look like it. It's just so patient here. This isn't touring car racing at all. No one's ever patient in touring cars. I can't believe what we're seeing here, Josh.
Well, these three are evidently patient, and well, there'll be no sort of rear-ending going on here, because Brugman, De Vos and Tita all giving each other ample room, ample space, ample time to do anything. Maybe we'll see a move from Lars Brugman, since there's potentially 2 places to be gained, but even that would be quite brave by Brugman's standards. We know that he's a very sensible driver, yet he doesn't go for it again. It's that speed differential. He's not getting enough, because he doesn't want to dive bomb anyone in the Tarzan. And he's trying to play it safe here, Lars, but I'm wondering if that's going to be detrimental to his pace. Maybe he's waiting for a mistake from Tita or De Vos, because there are really not many overtaking opportunities here in the Zandvoort. And, well, Brugman seems to be passing any opportunity he does get up.
Yeah, he's certainly just sat there, isn't he? But again, De Vos is now only 3/10 behind Tita and getting ever closer. There's a huge battle going on further back as well. I don't want to pull away from the front battle, but between about 10th and 14th, there's been lots of battling going on. Roy Vassal also had a spin as well, which has really mixed things up down there also. But of course, that's for the lower points pay positions. And oh, look at that! Tadera's made a mistake. He's gone wide. He's got loose, and that's De Vos through into the lead.
Yep, but DeVos has taken full advantage of Tina's mistake. Maybe this is what Brugman wanted. Maybe he was waiting for a mistake from either of these things so he can just go, thank you very much, I'll have that place. But it's not happened for him. It's only happened for DeVos, and he won't be happy about that. But while Bart may lead this race, he goes onto the gravel on the inside of that turn. And Brugman's going to have a run on Tina. DeVos's tyres will have picked up a little bit of gravel. And, well, this has got to be a go now from Lars Brugman. He must know now, having seen DeVos go through, his only real chance of getting through is going to be into Tarzan here. And you'd think he's got to go for this time. He's got the perfect run on Tina. Look how close he is across the start finish. Is he going to move to the inside? Yes, he is. He's got no choice. Otherwise, he'd run into the back of Argo, down the inside of Tarzan, and Brugman is finally through. But now he's got Bart DeVos to contend with if he wants to take the lead of his home Grand Prix.
Yeah, that was textbook stuff there by Brugman. Just put the car up the inside and kept there right on the outside of the track. There was no defence at all there from there, and wow, that was just like giving up the position almost. Brugman still had it all to do in the braking zone and got it done and looked very smooth doing it and got the position. And now already he's right back onto the back of DeVos and challenging for the lead. It now it is.
Yeah, he has absolutely got to defend this from Lars Brugman now, Bart DeVos. He has no choice. It's the lead of the race at stake. Meanwhile, Roy Vergaal's race has gone from bad to worse. He's now seemingly disconnected or actually retired from the race. He is not going to help his retirement rate in this series so far, is Roy Vergaal, and that one is going to add to it. He's not had the luckiest of seasons ever since taking the first win of the season. It's just seemed to go downhill for him since then. But he's not going to be very happy about that. Hopefully, races 2 and 3 can go his way because he really is a very good driver, Roy, and he deserves some good results. But he's got to, unfortunately, get into the lead and hold it before he can get them. And at the moment, that lead is held by Bart DeVos, who's still defending from Lars Brugman here. And I'm thinking maybe, now he's gone for Argo Tina, maybe that'll open the floodgates. Maybe he'll think he'd be a bit more daring going into Tarzan on lap 8.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't have to worry about what's going on behind because Tadare is falling further and further back, and it's just like he's lost all grip. I don't know what's gone wrong with him, but Brugman is still relentless, isn't he? Hounding DeVos and just waiting for that mistake, it looks like. But DeVos so far has stayed strong and he's looked good and definitely done his homework here at this track at Zandvoort. He looks like he's familiar with it and certainly putting the car on all the right places and not looking too flustered at all. Definitely not defending either.
Yeah, it has been an absolute textbook Brugman race so far. Has done nothing really massively risky at all. He's just held position nicely. He's trying to put the pressure on DeVos rather than put the pressure on himself to overtake DeVos. And that is just the Brugman style, isn't it? Don't risk much. Give it a go, and he'll have a nice little crack over the whip and try and get himself into the lead by forcing his opponent to make mistakes.
Yeah, and while all that's been going on, Perry Vink has just gone into the wall. He had it coming together with Ezroglu. It's turn 1. It looks like he just got speared to the left by Ezroglu. I'm not quite sure whose fault it was in that one, but that's Brink right down to last place in the running now because De Vries just retired as well.
Oh, it looked like Perry Vink actually went across his Iroglu there. Nothing that Theodoros could do in that instance, I don't think. It was Perry coming across, and I think he might have misjudged the distance, but he has fallen back. Sven De Vries has indeed retired again from the race. This time, I think, terminally. I think he's given up, to be honest with you. But Brugman, this is the thing. Brugman is not gaining enough ground on Bart DeVos where it matters for him to make the overtake. And I think at this point, as we say, he's a sensible driver. Maybe he'll just be starting to think that it's second place is better than trying to risk first. But we know how much Lars likes to win. He's so close through the corners, but they're not overtaking opportunities. And Lars Brugman is not able to get past Bart DeVos here. He'll be sitting there in front of Lars, rubbing his hands with glee, thinking, hold on, mate, you can't get past.
Yeah, he's just placing the car perfectly, isn't he? He's not going all the way to the inside of the track and compromising his own line through the corner. He just knows when he has to... Brugman's crashed.
He has gone round, and well, that is a very uncharacteristic mistake from Brugman. It's very rare we see him slip up like that. I mean, that is such a rare thing where he just got too far outside, hit the inside wall. So easy to do, even the best on immune for it, but that's going to hurt him now because his promoted Argentina back in the second will be thanking his lucky stars.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. But just got two wheels on the grass, didn't he? He went round, hit the inside wall. He's carried on going and he's in third place now. But so far behind the leading pair, he's actually 4 seconds behind there now. And well, that was uncharacteristic from Brugman. I'm just surprised that he did that because he looked like he was being pretty patient. He wasn't looking like he was getting too flustered or being too aggressive behind DeVos, and he had plenty of time there still to go for the move. But well, that's just kind of put him out the running a little bit. I'm sure he's going to charge. He's looking very vicious out that final corner, really go for it. But yeah, what a spin! I really didn't see that one coming at all.
Yeah, Lars Brugman's got all of the work to do now, but such is the nature of touring car racing. There's another battle popped up immediately in the form of Peter van Woudenberg, who is chasing down Ilja Bracalo into Tarzan here, which of course is turn one, and van Woudenberg has had a pretty solid season since he got that first race win. He's chasing down Ilja now, of course, for P5, which again would be a very respectable position, and van Woudenberg really been one of the surprises for me this season. Really has shown some good potential.
Yeah, we've always seen him in or around the top 5, barring any instances. There's a bit of contact between himself and Bracalo there, going up the hill, and well, it got a bit close, and Bracalo nearly lost control, but managed to gather it up, and they both remain in the positions they were before, and Van Woudenberg continues to harass them. But yeah, he's done an excellent job of just bringing home the results, barring a few instance here or there, and challenged for the lead at numerous occasions as well. He's shown he's got the speed when he needs it.
Yeah, Van Woudenberg really one of the standouts of this season, you could argue, and he's taking the fight to Bracalo here himself as a bit of a touring car veteran, so he knows he's stuff to Bracalo, and Van Woudenberg's just sitting there giving it all charge on him, and that is respectable in its own right, to be able to stick it to someone like Bracalo, who has so much experience in cars just like this, who knows his way round these BMW E90s, and it's just so good to see people like Van Woudenberg giving chase to people like Bracalo. I wonder if he's going to try anything at the Tarzan, because we know Van Woudenberg, a bit more racy than the likes of Brugman, knows that he likes to make overtakes happen. He's a big on the ambitions sometimes, and well, it can go badly if you don't do it right, but Van Woudenberg, I'm sure, thinks he can do it right from that distance. I doubt he will go for it, though. He hits the brakes, and when he hits it, he's going to oh, he tried the dive bomb, but unfortunately for him, Bracalo was just there, got his line exit just right, and it stopped it from happening.
Yeah, he went for it right at the last second, and that could have all ended in tears there, but luckily the two didn't make any contact. But Van Woudenberg carries on, though. He's still trying to have a go here or there, and it's definitely the closest battle we've got on track right now, and I just feel it's going to be a matter of time before Van Woudenberg really goes for it. He's challenging up the hill, but just not close enough to get to any kind of move up the inside. Again, poking his nose out, just having a look, but Bracalo's not having any of it.
He's not, is he? He's just staying there, staying put, and he's really not making life easy for the Dutchman here. If Van Woudenberg wants his P5, he is going to have to work for it, and I guarantee you that is exactly what he will do. He's chasing now as we come round here, and Perry Vink has actually just had a stop-go penalty removed from him. I think that may have been track limits related. I'm sure the disciplinary committee will look at that directly after this race, but Van Woudenberg really threw Hans Zerst there, got distance made, and he'll have a look through Kumo and then Lundijk as well. So we'll see if he has the momentum this time to get past Bracalo, because that's what we're really looking at. Bart de Vos, though, has started the final lap of the race in the meantime, and it's looking to be a very good victory for the Wouters driver.
Yeah, it certainly has been. He's done everything right, really. He's just had to defend from Brugman for so much of this race, a good 2/3 of it at least, and then just got the opportunity when it arose, when Tadare went off track. Well, I did go off track, just went wide at a corner, and that was enough to give De Vos the lead, and that was just perfect racing by him. And ever since then, he's not really looked back. He's looked imperiously strong, and definitely just coasting a little bit now towards the checkered flag.
Yeah, and he's going to be very happy boy with that win. Well, not like a very happy boy, more like a very happy Belgian. But rather, he will be I'm sure he'll be pleased with this. I mean, the circumstances, yes, Lars Brugman did slip off, but a win is a win no matter which way you slice it. And, well, speaking of slicing, Peter van Bergenberg slicing away at Bricalo bit by bit every time. I'm sure this battle will go right to the end of the race because they are just so close together against each other. Van Bergenberg just will not yield to Bricalo by any means. But at the moment, Bart de Vos is going to come round the final turn, going to come round Harry Lundijk, and he's going to inherit and take and win and take the lead of. He will come across the points that he wants. It's going to be a Bart de Vos victory here in Zandvoort. Tina will be second, and then we have Brugman third. Bricalo and Van Boudenberg still duking it out into the final two, though. Nothing doing between them. It's looking like Bricalo will have it unless Van Boudenberg can get him on the straight, but it's going to be close between these two. Lucas Laridis has actually run out of fuel in all this, and he is going to drop behind the positions, but it is Van Boudenberg who finishes behind Bricalo, and of course they inherit fourth and fifth because of Laridis, who ran out of fuel. Metcalf 6th, Mick 7th, Watman should be 8th, Ziriglu 9th, Stanford top 10, Governor's up for Squire, and then Laridis obviously out of fuel. Vink should overtake, as should David Watman, and Laridis will be one of the 3 retirements from this race, though he'll still be classified in 13th, ahead of Sven de Vries and Roy Vajal, who will not.
That's it. Sorry, yeah, Josh, that was incredible stuff. I can't believe Laridis just ran out of fuel right at the end there. Just saw him slowing, and that was right when Bricalo and Van Wilderberg were still battling away. Close between Bricalo and Van Wilderberg at the end as well. Good little battle.
It is such an easy thing to do to miscalculate your fuel in a race, and unfortunately, Lucas Laridis has fallen foul of that. I'm sure he'll put an extra couple of litres in next time, so he doesn't do that again and give up another good place. But as we say, will probably still be classified in the race because he completed 90% at least, so he will get that P13, and it will count, though he will think it should have been fourth for him, really. He'll be thinking, he'll be cursing himself.
Yeah, and I've also just seen that Mark Wicks, I think he's been handed a penalty after the race because he finished in 9th, I believe it was, and all of a sudden he finds himself down to 11th, so that's actually promoted Eric Stanford and Perry Twink as well.
Yeah, he has. Maybe it was a stop goal that he couldn't serve in time, and if he converted it into a time penalty, or maybe he spun or something. We'll have to get someone to investigate that, but yeah, Stanford, a top 9 for Squire VRT. He'll be quite pleased with that in his move towards the points. And yeah, decent result indeed from him. Vink moves up into the top 10 position. He'll be pleased with that. Wicks down in 11th, as we mentioned. And then the retirements and the finishes as the rest of it. So we're just moving into the second race. We'll be starting that shortly. And I'm sure that the likes of Brazil, and the other drivers who didn't do as they will want to really make advantage of this race too.
Yeah, they certainly will be. This is going to be interesting stuff because, of course, with the retirements that we had at the end there, Laridis running out of fuel, Wicks with some kind of penalty as well. It's just promoted guys up to really take advantage of this reverse grid. Of course, Vink and Stanford on the front row. That's going to be exciting stuff, and we'll have to see if they can hold the tide back. Of course, another good driver there is Simon Watman as well, who ended up in 7th in the last race, and he started from the back and took a little bit of time to get going. He was battling away with the other Watman, David, earlier on in that huge gaggle of cars, but came out in 7th. He'll be in with a shout of a good start as well, and I think that it's going to be a case of when the likes of Brugman, Tadare and De Vos manage to carve their way through this field to come up to the guys at the front and challenge them for position, that I think will determine who wins the race.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting race too, indeed. And well, as we know, we will have reverse grid for race 3, and the top 10 from that will be the reverse. So whoever finishes 10th will find themselves on pole position for race 3. I do believe we get the reverse grid in race 2 as well. Don't we?
Yes, yeah, we do. Yeah.
I thought we did. Just wanted to be sure.
Yes,
so yeah, reverse grid for them too. We'll actually be Perry Vink on pole.
Yeah, it will be. Which he was in last place at one point after coming together in turn one and ended up with a gravel trap. So I'm sure he's going to be pretty pleased with that one to end up with a pole position for race two, and we'll have to see what he can do with that one, and whether there's going to be a bit more fireworks with him and Stanford and Ezra Loglu as well.
Yeah, these drivers at the start, at the front, will want to make advantage of the fact that they are at the front because, they're getting their chances. They're getting a chance to really shine from pole position where they may not have qualified in pole, but they're going to get pole because of the reverse grid. And sometimes that can really do things to drivers because, really does help. Yeah, Mark Wick's just saying he was 7th at the finish, so he has potentially lost out on a reverse grid pole place here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they'll. I think they're going to give him his 7th place there, so he'll actually move back up on the grid. He'll be starting 4th then instead of 11th, and that means that unfortunately for Wink, he won't be getting his pole position. It's going to be Stanford instead on pole.
Yeah, he's had it given to him, then taken away. Then it's all going a bit crazy for Perry Vink at the moment. Same can be argued for Mark Wicks, who lost his place but now gets it back, and he will be getting his place for this race. And it's going to be interesting to see what he does with that, of course. But yes, another 12-lap race coming up here at Zandvoort, and takeaways from that one. Lars Brugman is not completely infallible. We saw him making that mistake, very rare of him, and of course he's going to obviously finishing 3rd means he's going to start in 8th for the next race. I mean, if he got 9th, then it would have been 2nd place he got in the previous. But you can argue it's kind of a blessing and a curse, because yes, he gets less points now, but he still overtakes Sven de Vries in the Drivers' Championship, and he gets a slightly higher grid spot.
Yeah, it does. It's anything's a blessing for you when de Vries disconnects going into turn one. It's certainly played out well for him there, but I'm still surprised that Brugman made that mistake during the race because yes, he was attacking de Vos, but he didn't look like he didn't look too aggressive or anything like that. It was like he had it all under control and he was just waiting for the perfect moment. Maybe he just switched off a little bit. Maybe he was just thinking, I'll sit behind him for another lap or two and then I'll give him a go or something. But whatever happened, he just completely lost control of the car after touching the grass. And it is pretty unforgiving, this track. It's a bit old school, I'd probably call it. It's got no tarmac runoffs. It's a lot of grass and gravel and not much runoff till you get to the barriers either. So an easy one to make a mistake on. And if the likes of Brugman can make a mistake, anyone can make a mistake.
Yeah, not an easy track in the slightest is Zandvoort. You got a lot of corners that can go very badly wrong. Quite high speed in places, and it got the slowing down, lots of banking to deal with. It is a bit of a roller coaster ride, but a very interesting circular race. BMW's at no less. And I'm sure that Bart DeVos will find a newfound love for it after winning here in race 1. He'll want to repeat the feat in race 2, but starting from 10th, it's not going to be easy for the Belgian. And I imagine with some stiff competition ahead, he's probably going to face some serious difficulty.
Yeah, I think this is really one that's wide open. This is now because the grid is so varied. We've got a few strong guys starting at the very back. We've got a few guys who typically wouldn't be near the front on the first couple of rows of the grid. And anything could happen. It's such a tight track as well. I really can't call this one, and it's going to be exciting to watch out for. And luckily, we don't have too much time to wait either.
Luckily, we don't indeed. Championship standings wise, of course, Lars Brugman will move ahead of Sven de Vries. Elder Riccardo probably going to jump the American as well. Argo Tito will come close to doing that, certainly. Bart de Vos moves himself right back up with the likes of Bazile and Van Boudenberg in the chase for the slightly not quite first place positions. And then you got the likes of Lucas Laritis. Laritis himself will he'll drop places or potentially points because of the fact he didn't get the fuel to the finish. Mark Wicks, I imagine, will probably overtake him, and Spyaric will pull away. That just shows how much one race can change everything.
Yeah, it certainly can, and after a race like that, anything can happen in the next race as well, and the points could swing in the completely opposite direction. It's not guaranteed that Brugman will have a good race, or De Vries could have more issues. It could just compound his troubles so far today. And who knows? Of course, Argo Tadare, who also picked up a few more points, he's definitely going to be closing the gap. Well, he did close the gap a little bit between himself and Brugman as well. So that's certainly getting quite interesting as well. And all of a sudden, he's looking like a real force to be reckoned with as a CM Tech driver. I think he could really push De Vries and Brugman for some kind of victory. He's missed a whole round as well, and so in the championship he's looking stronger and stronger in my opinion.
Yeah, we're just going to get going with this race soon, of course, but for now we're going to set the administrator Sanders. He's just going to set the grid and a couple of other things as well. So, looking into this race too, Sam, as we said, the likes of the drivers who didn't do so well before want to get some points, want to help the championship standings after a not so good race one. They will want to make up for lost time here and get going in race 2 straight out of the blocks.
Yeah, I think it might get a bit frantic down into turn 1. I can't tell if it's going to be a clean race or not. Because of course, back in Bathurst, I think our second race was the worst race of the day, if you want to call it that. It was still a good race, but just got a bit silly in some places with some of the contacts. But back in Austria, it was a completely different story. So how it's going to play out here, I really don't know. I think we're still going to get some good close racing, but we saw in that first race it was definitely difficult to overtake, and patience really was required to pull an overtaking maneuver off. And I think drivers are going to have to continue with that patience if they want to get a good result here. There's no point getting silly and putting another driver in the wall or getting stuck on the grass and just losing all the time that you might have made up and just wasted a whole race's worth of work.
Yeah, Lars Brugman, one you can look at for an example of being careful. Only mistake by getting too much grass dropped him out of his position, really. So he's exactly where you want him to. That's the shining example really of patience, is Lars Brugman. One of those drivers who just doesn't really worry too much about anything. He just gets on with it and drives, and he's patient, and he's also quick, which helps him. But he's a very patient driver, Lars, and definitely one you can trust to race around.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's always respectful to all drivers around him, whether they're battling him just for position or battling for the championship or a race win. He'll always give another driver just enough room. He's firm but fair, and that's exactly what you like to see in another competitor. It just gives you a bit of ease that you know that he won't intentionally try and take you out when you're battling away with him.
So here we go, off the start finish, and I do believe it is actually going to be Perry Vink who gets his pole position after all. So he's had it taken away from him, then given back, and taken away, then given back again. But he is actually on pole for this race. And then we've got Stanford, Desiroglu, Wicks, Watman, Metcalf, all people usually lower down the grade, but at the start, all of them, especially Watman, we've seen him before, who can just get such a good start and lead the race. Even though the leaders on pace may catch up afterwards, these drivers all could lead the race just by keeping it nice and sensible.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see then that DeVos has got a little bit more work to do, hasn't he? He's going to be starting down in 11th place, so the top 11 have been reversed, and that just makes the task of getting through all these cars that little bit harder, but I think it certainly makes it even more tasty for us going into this race now.
Yeah, I think the top 10, usually, I think Perry Vink may be able to take advantage of this. Hopefully he can, because we'd love to see Perry do well. Then behind, we've got the likes of Van Woudenberg, Bracalo, Brugman, Tita, the big names starting further down the grid. DeVos really from 11th, work to do. Tita will want to make sure he doesn't get through. Brugman will want to make sure he gets the lead as soon as possible. Then we've got De Vries and Vizela. This should be a very interesting battle off the start.
Yeah. Oh, Vink's actually spud it on the formation lap. He's gone round from the lead. He's actually reversing round the corner.
Well, well, he's tried just to spin it around. Well, It's a very entertaining move from Vink there, not the safest in the world. I think what he should have done is let the entire field go and then resumed pole position afterwards. But what he's done is he's chosen to stick it in reverse, go around, execute a J-turn, and then just slot in behind Watman. Well, it's creative thinking of Vink, I'll grant him that.
That is absolutely brilliant. I've been watching motorsport for years and years and years, and I can honestly say I've never seen anything like that before. I can't believe it. He just put the car in reverse, and like you said, he did like a Hollywood-esque half a donut, whatever you want to call it. Got the car spun around and just carried on his way like nothing happened at all. That's brilliant stuff. And well, I'm already insane. We haven't even got racing yet.
I can imagine that it was just for him. It was just like turning around. It's like, nope, nothing to see here. Just please carry on. You know, he just doesn't seem to care at all. It just. I've seen some moves, but nothing like that ever. And well, if there was style points enough, a Perry Vink would be winning, but unfortunately there's not in this race. The only points available are for actual race position. He is going to resume pole position. He'll take it back up as the rest of the drivers line up into the grid as we get ready to start the second race at Zandvoort. We're waiting for the lights to start illuminating once again. It will be Vink from pole position, but can he hold it? That is the question that we'll all want the answer to, and that we're going to get the answer to in the short couple of moments. So here we go then. The lights light up once more, and we're racing. Vink has got a fantastic start off the start there. He's got a really good launch. Eric Stanford gets a very respectable start as well. But look at Simon Watman. As I said, it's all about the start, and he has got one of the best of them. He's aimed to third. Mark Wicks is giving him chase, but it's not enough at the moment. Azira Glue giving Wicks chase in his own right. Van Boudenberg's made a hash of it. He's down in last. He's gotten something wrong there. Simon Watman trying to attack Eric Stanford. It's a good start from him as well, but it's a blinder from Perry Vink, who takes charge at the start of this race. Oh, so Brugman and DeVos have had an incident as well round the back. And what on earth has happened between... What has happened there? I'm going to have a look, because that... Oh, well, Lars Brugman lagged backwards into DeVos, and the two cars have magnetised into each other. They can't separate them.
This is I don't even know what to say. I'm lost for words. I've never seen anything like this either. I think, have they got unstuck? No, they haven't. They're just stuck there in turn 3. Oh, they have now. They're separated. They can both go, but they've lost about half a lap there. Absolute carnage in the first couple of corners, and Vink is in the lead. But well, what a start by he had as well. I've never seen a start like that. It's absolutely crazy here in race 2, and we're not even through lap 1.
I don't think our cameraman, Menno Klont, can contain himself, to be honest with you. He's just sitting there laughing away like mad. It's a bit of a mad start indeed. But round into Kubo, then into Ari Lungendijk, it's going to be Perry Vink who leads this race. But the real story, Brugman and DeVos, the two key players who you'd argue might go for the win, have both fallen back because they got stuck inside of each other. That is the only way I can explain it. But Vink is going to lead the first lap, and he's going to have a mile to Watman, who's in second.
And look at that, De Vries is already in third place from 14th on the grid. What a start by De Vries at the end of lap 1 to be in third place. And right behind him, just getting past Mark Wicks, is Argo Tadera as well. And he's definitely on a charge. You have to feel that either De Vries or Tadera are going to be the ones to try and take this win now. But, well, you wouldn't bet against something else happening, would you? Because we've seen just about everything in this race already.
I think something has happened. Bricalo's dropped back to 8th after a bit of a connection problem with Vizile there. Roy has got him into 6th, and we got Wicks, Tadera, De Vries all battling it out. I imagine from this point onwards, Sven De Vries is going to be pretty unopposed until he gets to Perry Vink, because Watman, we know, not the quickest, but he can put up a decent defence either way.
Yeah, he certainly can, and De Vries is pushing very hard at the moment, just running a little bit wide there, twitching the car as well, going through this double right-hander, and Simon Watman also getting the back end really stuck out, putting a few drifts here and there as well, really lighting up the tyres. It's not going to help him at all, but it certainly looks spectacular as De Vries is now all over his back bumper.
Yeah, coming into Hanses, they should be pretty linear for De Vries. Outbreak Simon into the corner, get the inside apex, job done. Thank you very much, good night. And De Vries goes forward into P2 there. I'm hearing problems for, well, that is a problem for Argo Tita, who's heading off. an excursion, and he's down into 6th, so that's just even better for De Vries. But Roy Bajal's taking advantage to go into 5th. He will chase Mark Wicks for 4th down the main straight. But Sven De Vries now has got to catch Perry Vink. The gap between the two will find over the start-finish line. It is at present 3 seconds, but I imagine Sven will start taking slices out of that very quickly.
Yeah, it's a huge gap, but, well, De Vries is a man on the mission right now. He's got past Watman and Stairs fallen back, so he's got not too much threat from behind as it currently stands, and it's going to be interesting to watch this gap between himself and Vink, who had an electrifying start. I still can't believe the start that he got off the line. He was a full second ahead by the first corner. It looked like he got that such an incredible getaway. But De Vries is certainly charging hard, already left Watman in the dust, and it's going to be interesting as they come up to the end of Sector 1. And yeah, a full 0.6 of a second in the first sector alone. That is a huge amount of time taken there by Sven De Vries.
If that doesn't show determination, I don't know what does. Sven De Vries taking that much time out shows that he's determined. That's in one sector, let's not forget. This is lap 2 that we've well completed. We're on lap 3 now, and we've still got 9-10 to go, and De Vries has just taken this much time out. There's another 2 tenths there.
Yeah, it's constantly coming down, and well, Vink will be very aware of that. He'll see the car behind him getting closer and closer in his rearview mirrors. So we'll see how he copes. We'll see if he can keep his all his thoughts together and not make any mistakes, because he knows what a strong driver is coming up behind him. Anyone that's challenging for the championship is going to be a good driver indeed. So I'm really interested to see what happens. I think it's only going to be about a lap or so before these two come together and we have a battle for first place.
In the meantime, Argo Tita is giving some strife to Mark Wicks here. He's recovered from his little excursion, and he's now going to find himself in a battle for 4th. Now, Tita, we know, has the ability to win races. He's done it before. He's up there with the best drivers in the championship, and for him, passing Mark Wicks should not be too difficult, but Wicks is putting up a stern defence here.
He certainly is, isn't he? He's keeping Stare at bay at the moment, and well, just looking fairly strong, especially considering he could have been starting all the way down in about 11th had everything not been sorted out in terms of positions at the start grid. So good job by Wicks at the moment, but Stare is getting closer and closer, and he'll certainly be wanting to make up for that mistake that he made when he was right behind De Vries only a few laps ago.
He's keeping him honest here, isn't he, Argo? He's not on the back of Wicks at the moment, but Mark is doing a very good job to stay there, and he's catching up to Simon Watman, so there's a podium battle going on, but Sven De Vries is just taking slice out of slice out of slice out of Vink's lead. The gap is now 1.9 seconds. It was 3 a couple of laps ago, and De Vries, he just seems so determined to catch up to Perry Vink here.
Yeah, I think the gap's coming down a bit more, but certainly not as quick as it was, and that just means that Vink's actually doing a pretty good job. Across the line, he's only actually lost a 10th of a second in that final sector, so again, another good bit of driving from Vink over the last few corners, and De Vries is not having it all his own way in terms of closing this gap down right now.
He's not having it his own way, no, and he's got to try and do some work to get through. He's really trying. Is De Vries. Vink trying to hold it as well, but De Vries is closing in. But we have a closing in for 3rd, because Wicks is not far off Watman, and Tita is not far off Wicks. So Argo Tita, with some tricky driving here, could find himself very soon in 3rd place, but he's got to get this right. Has to get past Wicks first, and coming round into this right-hander, you imagine that he's not close enough yet, of course, but he may be in a couple of turns if he can keep this pace up, because he's got some good pace at the moment. He's catching up to Wicks, and if he can make this work, maybe at the Hans Est, then he might just have a chance.
He certainly could do. I just saw Sal go off there in turn 6, so he's actually dropped back from 6th place down to 7th behind Bricalo. So just a slight mistake onto the gravel, and lost a couple of seconds at a position, but not too dramatic.
No, Vasil is having another little incident, and it's not really P7 after the problems he's had this season. He'll want wins. He will want wins. Tina has gone through on Wicks after that turn there, and he is through into fourth. Next up for him is Watman, and he's catching him quick enough, isn't he? Because look at how much closer he's already. That's the thing. But speaking of people who are closer, look at the gap between Vink and De Vries. It is under a second. It's 0.874.
Yep, the gap has definitely come down in the last lap. That was a full second that time around that De Vries took out of Vink there, and it looks like Wicks is coming under a little bit of pressure from Bricala as well into turn one, but not quite close enough. And Stair is actually trying to go around the outside of Watman as we head towards turn 3, and he's got the job done already. So that's Stair up into third place, but nearly 7 seconds behind the leader now.
Simon Watman's exit out of Tarzan was not the best in the world. He got squiggly, he lost traction, he lost speed, and that helped Argentina get onto the podium. And I'm sure the Estonian will be very, very happy about that indeed. But what about this? Perry Vink can't hold Sven de Vries off anymore. The American has found his way directly behind the Dutchman. And Vink now, you imagine, is going to have the fight of his life to hold first place.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Is that Wicks has lost a couple of positions. He's found himself down in 7th place, under pressure from Peter van Wildenberg also. But De Vries is certainly on the back of Vink, and I don't think he's going to have a go into the chicane this time around. But certainly looks like he's setting him up for a run down the straight and already having a go into the final couple of corners.
Yes, he's giving it a good look here. But Sven de Vries, well, that almost worked. Vink got wide, going into Hans Hurst, went on the gravel. De Vries almost got the put back, but Perry Vink placed his car perfectly on the rejoin. Sven couldn't get through. Perry got the lead back, but what's he going to do with the Tarzan? It's the Wouters car moving to the inside. Vink going as defensive as he dares, but it's not enough as the American slices his way into the lead, which I'm fairly certain in his mind he'll hold to the end of the race now.
Yeah, that was a good little move there by Sven. Just put the car, placed it on the inside of Vink, and Vink just had to hold on and hope that he could get some kind of switchback. But De Vries just ensured that the move was complete, and that's the position now. And I don't think we're going to see a challenge from Vink, in all honesty, on De Vries, unless De Vries makes a mistake. And I think for Vink now, he should just consolidate what he's got, because it's a good position for him. And just to make sure that over the next 6 laps that Tadej can't close down on him.
Well, you never know. That's the thing. There could be something. And speaking of something, Bricalo and Watman going at its hammer and tongs here for P4 at the moment. Watman, we know is a good defender, but he goes slightly wide. Is that going to open the door for Bricalo? I'm sure the Croatian wants 4th, but he's going to have to work for it if he wants to get it. Watman on the outside, his exits of corners not good at the moment. Will this be what gives the position to the YTF1 driver? That is the question. Coming into Hans Hurst now. Ricardo brakes. Watman brakes slightly earlier, but he's got the inside on the exit, and that's what he needs to keep the position. But for how long is the question? We know that Watman's exits out of the last couple of corners. If he gets a bad exit out of here, it's going to pretty much be game over for him, Tarzan. But it looks like he's got it well now, and it looks like he might have a chance of defending his 4th place.
Yeah, Roy Vassal also spun there as Watman and Bricalo were battling away, and Vassal just made a mistake coming out the chicane, lit up the tyres and spun the car around, and he's dropped it all the way back to 9th place, just got back ahead of Eric Stanford. So quite a few positions lost for him, but at least he just about kept it out the wall anyway, as Wicks and Lyritis are also very, very close in battle, go through turn 1 as well. It's certainly heating up for these higher positions in the midfield.
It is all starting to heat up a little bit now. Watman, Bricalo still battling. We've got Lucas Lyritis and Mark Wicks reasonably close. We've got Stanford and Metcalf for P10. All these battles going on. I'm looking at Bricalo though, because he's trying to size up Watman every chance he gets, but the Swede is having none of it. As we know, he's such a good defender. Bricalo gets a bit crazy on the exit of that corner, not the line he wants, gets the grass, loses traction, loses time to Watman. And I think if he makes, well, he does go wide there, but Bricalo on the wrong line to do anything about it. Can't move to the right line quick enough. He would have collided with Watman otherwise, but we know he's such a good defender as Simon Watman, but it's his excessive corners that are hurting him. Bricalo's just going to chuck it down the inside, going into Hans Erst here, and you imagine this time the Croatian must have it, gets the late break and turns in, and it is another textbook move here at Zandvoort, this time from Bricalo to take fourth.
Yeah, I think Watman was giving Bricalo way too much space there, perhaps being a bit too gentlemanly. And Bricalo pounced on that one, got the position up into fourth place, and already Watman is coming under pressure from Van Wilderberg. Of course, Van Wilderberg spun out at the very start of the race and found himself down in last after turn one, so he's done a good job so far of getting back up into sixth and could be on the for a top five here as he looks down the inside into turn one, but not quite close enough.
Could be something of a comeback on here from Van Wilderberg. You know, wasn't the best start from him in the world, as you say, but he could be potentially fourth if he can get through here. I've just noticed Tida has gone past Vink as well for P2, so that is another position lost. The Estonian being very quiet this race in his manoeuvring, but he's gotten through, and as he gets a little bit slippery through here, Vink is still going to be there to potentially force a challenge if he does not get through, but it looks like Tina's got it from here on in, to be honest with you. He's doing a good enough job. We've lost Fazile again, by the way. He is out again, and his string of DNFs is just continuing.
Yeah, it seems to be that he just can't quite complete a race. Like he has to go walk the dog every 10 minutes or something. I don't know. But Van Wilderberg's got past Watman as well, hasn't he? There's been a bit of a change of position between the two of them there. So Van Wilderberg's up into fifth, and now he's going to try and catch Bricalo. He's only about a second or two ahead, so certainly on for him. And I think that'll be a mighty fine tussle if he can catch up.
There's about 1.5 seconds in it between them at the moment. I'm sure Van Boudenberg, if he manages to put the pedal through the floor, he'll manage to get some more pace out of that BMW. He's probably pushing it as hard as he can in the moment, to be honest with you. But I'm sure if he shows his colours, he can get some pace. I think he's closing in on Riccardo already, to be honest. We'll see at the start finish exactly what the gaps are between the two of them. As we'll see, it's about 1.5 seconds. Nothing gained on that lap for the Dutchman. But I'm sure he'll want to catch the Croatian with speed here. He is a former race winner in this series, of course, and I'm sure he'll want to line himself up for another win in race 3, but he's got to get past Bricalo to get more points this race at the bare minimum. Vink and Tida does not seem to be going anywhere. Argo's putting away in that sense, and there is no battle going on there anymore. And, well, it seems to be a bit of a lull in the action at the moment, to be honest, but Sven de Vries has taken full advantage of that to pull out a forcing gap to Tida.
Yeah, he's certainly looked pretty lonely up out in front over the last few laps ever since he got past Wink. And I don't think there's enough time for today to try and catch him. The gap's coming down a little bit, but I'm sure that De Vries can just hold on for the last few laps as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. And that's the critical thing, is not making mistakes here. Otherwise, it could be a completely different story. Just seeing if there's any other battles going through the field. I noticed that Stanford and Metcalf were battling a few laps ago. Metcalf's actually got through there as well, so he's up into 9th. Stanford's back down into 10th, and they're out on their own a little bit as well, and that's really going to be the battle for who gets second and who gets pole for the next race when we have the reverse grid.
You say Tina doesn't have enough time to catch Sven de Vries, Sam. I may be forced to make you eat humble pie there, because on that last lap alone, he's taken out a second. He lost half a second in the final sector, but he took out 6 tenths and then 4 tenths, so he is catching. He is definitely catching, and I wonder if Sven de Vries starts making mistakes and Argo Tita doesn't, there is a good chance that Argo might be in contention for the win. I mean, it's a bit of an ideal circumstance, because as soon as Sven de Vries gets on it, we know he's absolutely on it. But I'm timing it myself, and it looks like Argo has taken about half a second out so far in this first sector.
Yeah, we're going to see when they come through the timing split any time now. They'll hit the line, and we'll see what happens. So Argo coming across the line for the end of sector 1. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Josh. That's good effort there. That was, he's nearly spun it. That's not going to help, is it?
It's not, you're right. He's pushing, I think, too hard, unfortunately. And, well, given the fact that Sven de Vries is on lap 11, and there is only one more after this, you imagine, unless there is mistakes made from de Vries, you might actually now, with that mistake, as little as it was, as trivial a mistake as it was, it might be the mistake that costs Tita this race.
Yep, I think that really kind of put the nail in the coffin right there, because I think Stair would have been about 2 seconds away from de Vries had he not made that mistake at this point in time, and that would have just put that extra little bit of pressure on de Vries going into the final lap. So I think it might be all said and done for the top 2 positions now, but you never know. It's an easy place to make a mistake.
Yeah, easy to make mistakes at Zandvoort. Last lap of the race, de Vries leading it, of course. Van Boudenberg, interestingly, back up to 5th, so a top 5 on the cards from the Dutchman. And it will be comeback from him, because started very low down the order after that start, and he's worked his way up nicely. Sven de Vries, so arguably the biggest success story, started 14th, and he's now going to win it at this rate.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? He's certainly... I'd love to actually see his first lap again, because how he got from 14th to 3rd, I'll never know. I guess there was quite a bit of carnage going through turns 1 to 3, which probably helped out, and it was a strange start of the grid as well by quite a few drivers. So whatever happened, it happened, and it happened in his favour, and he's leapt on that as well, and just carried that on, and made the final 2 crucial overtakes over the laps after that, and well, that's given him the lead that he's held on to up until now.
Yep, we have some battles brewing. Van Boudenberg is not totally clear of Wattman yet, and Bracalo's just had an off there, and Perry Vink getting close against it. It could be reasonably close to the finish between these lots if we keep an eye on that in all of this, because, well, you know, there could still be some interesting overtakes and key overtakes even for reverse grid places. But round the final 2 corners comes Sven de Vries, round Kumo, and then round Arie Lugendijk. He will go round that corner now. And it was Bart de Vos for Wouters Automotive who won race 1. It's going to be Sven de Vries for Wouters Automotive who wins race 2. Crucially for him, he will come across the line. He'll slice the gap to Brugman right back open. He gets the win. Tita second. Vink will come across third. Then it'll be Bracalo, Van Boudenberg, Wattman, Loretis, all in very close succession after each other. Mark Wick should eventually come home in P8, but he's going to be chased by Brett Metcalf for that. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can. I don't think he's got enough of a gap, to be honest. I think, unfortunately, Metcalf will not get this 8th. That will belong to Wicks. Metcalf 9th. Stanford didn't get pole for this race, but he'll get it for the next. He finishes 10th, and that will be reverse grid pole. Then Bart de Vos will start in 11th place. He just misses out on the top 10, unfortunately for him. Then it will be Lars Brugman in only 12th after the problems at the start. He and de Vos will not be happy about that, but they've unfortunately gone to the win. Will be 12th for Brugman. Zyra Glue just misses out by 4,000ths of a second, ultimately. He tried, but he's not got it, unfortunately. David Wattman will eventually come round in 14th, and the only retirement of the race was Roy Brazil.
Well, that was quite intense at the end, yeah. For de Vos and Brugman, they certainly helped themselves out a little bit for race 3 right at the end there by getting past Zroglu on that final lap, and really good stuff. But I have to say that my drive of the race, and I just want to give him a good shout out, has got to be Perry Vink, because he just did everything right. He got a great start to the race, got a good lead early on. He wasn't able to maintain it, but going against the likes of Sven de Vries and Argo Stair, it's no mean feat to finish up 3rd behind those 2, and I didn't think he was going to finish that high, and certainly guys around him fell much further back in that race. So Fink did a fantastic job and kept it clean throughout as well. I didn't see him make any major mistakes, so I'm really pleased for him to at least get that 3rd position, and I hope he's proud of himself.
He should be, because that is a very respectable result from Perry Vink. In 3rd place, I'm sure he will be happy with. And we'll see if he can convert that to anything more in race 3. Of course, Eric Stanford will take pole for that, followed by Metcalf, Wicks, then Loretis. Wattman is going to have another decent start again. If he can get a good start like last time, he might find himself in a high position again.
Yeah, he certainly might do. After what we just saw in that last race, I think anything is possible in race three. Are we going to see more guys on reversing around the track on the warm-up lap? Are we going to see any more cars getting stuck together? Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe we'll see flying cars in this final race. It could be absolutely anything after that race.
Yep, and I'm very interested to see how this race goes after those two. Because it could go brilliantly for our leaders and our faster drivers, or it could go terribly. I think it's going to go one of the two.
It seems to be that case, hasn't it? Of course, De Vries had the bad luck in race one, and then in race two, it was Brugman and De Vos that had all the bad luck. And well, this time around, it could be roles reversed once again. Maybe Tadeu's in for some bad luck this time. Who knows? And we've certainly still got a good chance of having a third different winner in this race as well, which is something that happened at Bathurst. It's something I didn't think was going to happen today, but it certainly could happen now because, of course, Tadeu hasn't won and he's looked so strong here in the start of race one at least, and then the second part of race two as well. He just needs, I think, one complete race of no issues and just good laps pumped it in. So we'll have to see whether he could do anything. We'll have to see if the guys further back can come through the field as well.
Well, yeah, we saw Sven de Vries do that, so it must not seem out of the bounds of possibility that he could do it again, or someone else could do it again, or we're going to have a similar sort of comeback. But we'll have to wait and see until the race actually starts before we do. But so far, we've had two fantastic races in the Zandvoort circuit in the BMWs, and I'm sure race 3 should follow suit. And for Sven de Vries, that win is going to be crucial. After not finishing race 1, he's going to harvest back points to Lars Brugman, who he lost for points to after Brugman did so well in race 1. Now, De Vries is going to pull some points back from Brugman, who finished race 2, and they're going to be relatively equal on footing in the Drivers' Championship again.
Yeah, really, that's exactly what I was thinking as well. It's pretty much worked out in favour for both drivers in this race. So this is going to be a little bit of a decider, really, between the two as who comes out of this round with the points lead going towards the next round, which will be in a couple of weeks' time. So I really can't call what's going to happen because, of course, I didn't think that De Vries was going to win that race. I didn't think that Brugman was going to finish all the way down in 12th place. If you asked me that before the race, I would have told you that you're having a laugh, and I think you got your drivers the wrong way around. But they proved me wrong, and we'll have to see now if that can be anything similar can happen in race 3.
We'll have to see if it does happen, because anything can happen, but will it happen? That's the question. And for the team's championship, it's going to be crucial as well. Wouters Automotive are going to pull more needed points out of this. YTF1 got a good race as well. Performance Racing with the result from Brugman again, they're going to get some well-needed points. But Wouters, you argue, with 2 wins, they're just going to pull further clear in the teams.
Yeah, after I saw the results of qualifying today, I honestly didn't think that Wouters had come out of here with 2 wins for the first 2 races. But that's just looking ever stronger, isn't it? They didn't have Brugman. They haven't had Brugman in today in the car, but nonetheless, it doesn't seem to have affected them that much. And their team's championship at still this early stage in the season is looking ever stronger.
It is looking ever stronger indeed, and the chances of, Wouters Automotive taking the team's championship, this just become more and more inevitable by the race. They've just run away that much with all the wins they've taken and that. But yeah, we'll have to see if they can get another win in race 3. Well, we'll have a different winner, maybe a new winner. We've seen new winners this season. Will we see another one?
Who knows? I've kind of forgotten who hasn't won a race now. So who could it be? I guess looking at it, well, Metcalf's done well to say so far, hasn't he? He's had a good couple of races. Simon Watman did well to get 6th place at the end there. Van Wilderberg, he's won a race before, hasn't he? But again, another good drive from him to get 5th from what was effectively right at the back after the first turn. So there's a lot of guys there that have a chance of winning a race, and I won't put it past if we do have someone else winning here in race 3.
Well, race winners so far this season, we've had Sven de Vries win one, Bracalo's won one, Tina's won one, we've had Van Bouwenberg win one, De Vos has won one, well now 2 rather, and de Vries has now won 2, as has Brugman. So the highest driver not to win in the championship, not to win a race, is Watman, and he's followed by Koenig, but they are 5th and 8th, so they're not that far behind really.
No, and of course Koenig's not here today either, so really Watman's the only guy on this grid who is a major contender who hasn't managed to pick up a win. It's surely going to be a matter of time before he does manage to get one. He of course did all right last time out in Bathurst. He's picked up a podium this season as well, and just putting in the points every round, and that's why he's doing all right for himself in terms of his point standings. So definitely one to watch out for. I think he certainly struggled from the back of the grid in race 1, but now he's finding himself a little bit higher here in the standings, at least on the grid. Don't rule him out from doing something, especially if he can have a good start.
Indeed. So time has just elapsed in the current session. We should be going racing soon for the 3rd and final race of the sort of 3 race meeting. I didn't know what to call it for a minute, but yep, the 3rd and final race here in Zandvoort. We're going to get underway soon, and we will see exactly who gets the upper hand.
Yeah, I'm just watching. No one's really got out this session, have they? Bart de Vos was panning around a little bit, but no one else really got out there. So I guess everyone's pretty happy with where they are and what they're going to do with their car in this 3rd and final race.
Yeah, we're going to be interested to see exactly what goes down at Zandvoort for the 3rd and final time this evening. And I'm sure that every single driver on that grid now will want to be sure of their abilities. They'll want to get the race win if they can. They want to get points if they can. It's going to be all about the interesting start that I'm sure will ensue. No Roy Vizar for this race, I've noticed, unfortunately. So he will not even take the start of the 3rd. But we are going to get the formation lap underway here at Zandvoort. So here we go. Stanford on pole, of course, with that 10th before. He's made a rocket of a start there. I think he just wants to enjoy his pole position, and I would not blame him. Then we got Metcalf, Wicks, Loridis, Watman again, the usual suspects at the front in race 2 and 3. But Watman, we know if he gets a good start, can be up in the top positions within a matter of moments. Stanford fell down the order big time in that race, so a potential one that Watman could get.
Yeah, I'm just watching all the cars here. I'm really quite excited to see what Metcalf can do here in this 3rd and final race. I think he was out of position at the end of race 2, and I think he probably should have finished a little bit higher up, but I guess he had some issues earlier on. So I think if Metcalf can get a good start, maybe even get the lead, there's no saying what he could get up to in this race 3 here. It's really one driver that I'm certainly going to be keeping my eye on.
Yeah, Metcalf, want to keep your eye on. He's very quite alright in these touring cars. Nice, solid, consistent driver for certain. You got the likes of Loridis, though, who we've seen is so quick and can do so well. I think he could be one to watch off the start, definitely. Then you got the likes of Van Bouwenberg, Ricardo, Vink, Tida, De Vries, De Vos, Brugman, all behind as well. You got Zaraglu, Watman rounding out the grid. And after the last race, I can't honestly see past one of these drivers, you know, from 9th to 12th. Maybe they even win it from there because we saw Sven do it. And I'm probably going to be wrong because we'll get a surprise. But honestly, I just think with this track and with everything that's happened so far, they have a good chance as anyone.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite amazing, isn't it? That arguably the best 4 drivers in the field here today are in 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th all together on the grid, and well, I'm sure they're just going to be hoping that neither of them get stuck into the other car in the first lap, and well, we don't want any of them to go out, but it's going to be interesting. It really is going to be a little battle between those 4 to see who can get out in front and well, ahead of the rest, and then they've got the chance to carve their way through the rest of the field and really go for this win here. In terms of who I think is going to win, I'm going to go for I'm going to go for here. I think he's going to get the race 3 win today.
Very good pick indeed. I'm personally going to punt for Lars Brugman. Just, I think with the situation in hand, he could probably do well here and go for it. But watch everyone at the front, because we could have a surprise winner in race 3 of Zandvoort as the lights start to illuminate once more. And we are racing. Stanford gets a decent enough start, but it's Laritis who charges past everyone else in front of him at the start there. He's going to be challenging Stanford into one as we break for Tarzan. Laritis round the outside, Stanford on the inside, and unfortunately, the Englishman has not got the exit he wanted because Laritis is just inching ahead as we go around to the next couple, and the Greek has taken it. A great start from the Thunder driver. Mark Wicks a respectable start as well, as has Watman. He's gotten past Vink, but we've got Tina and De Vries chasing them down already.
Yep, a great start by Laritis. He's out into the lead and away from the field. Stanford, I think he's going to be a little bit of a stopgap here between Laritis and the field behind. So this is perfect opportunity for Laritis to really try and pull away. Wicks, Watman and Vink have all had decent starts, so that means De Vries, who's the highest of who I think's one of the guys who could win the race here, has still got quite a few cars to try and get past.
He's involved in his own fight with Argo Tina, of course, and Van Varenberg wants a crack at the action as well, but Stanford has actually caught up to Laritis partially there. And while Lucas, I'm sure, will want to get through as soon as he can and use Stanford as a stopgap to create a big gap to the rest of them. Wicks not catching up soon enough. Ving not catching up soon enough. Watman 5th. Tina and De Vries though for 6 and 7. Sven down the inside. Contact with him. Watman gets offline. Tina just behind him. Sven is going to go around the outside. All these battles are going to hold everyone up. And look at Laritis taking full advantage.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's going to finish the lap in front, but I'm not sure about all the other positions. It's certainly getting a bit busy there. Wicks has got Vink, Watman, De Vries, Tadare, Van Wildenberg, and Bracalo right behind him, all line astern. And who's going to have a go against who going down into turn 1?
We have 10 cars within seconds of each other. That's how close it is really between this lot. Positions jostling and changing all the time. Stanford acting as the perfect stopgap for Laritis to just run away with its lead at the moment. And I'm sure the likes of Vink, the likes of Wicks, Watman, oh, it's all sorts of argy-bargy going on now. Tina wants past all of them. He's slicing through. De Vries wants to. It's all about getting through this traffic. Round goes Wicks in all this. He has had an incident. He's gone round, unfortunately, got involved with all the contact. He will have to try and rejoin safely. But we got Vink versus Tina. Stanford ahead. And as soon as, well, Tina and the likes clear Stanford, it's going to be a straight sprint to Laritis.
Yeah, crazy stuff there, and the crazy isn't over either. Oh, Van Wildenberg getting all kinds of loose and losing a position to Lars Brugman down to 8th place with Bracalo and Bart de Vos right behind in 9th and 10th. It's all very close between all of them, but De Vries is ahead of Tadare as well. He's up into 4th. He's got Wink right ahead of him, and Stanford just a little bit further ahead, but they're all about 2.5 seconds behind Laritis, and he just needs to keep on going and keep pushing as hard as he can now.
Vink wants to go on Stanford here. Nearly contact between the two. And De Vries inside both of them. And Vink round up the contact from Tina. And Brugman wants through on the Estonian. Now it really is all kicking off here. Eric Stanford can't hold positions any longer. Argo Tina in a hurry, unfortunately, has contact with Vink. That'll get investigated after the race, I am sure of it. But Brugman on Tina and Watman behind all of them, ready to capitalise, as is Van Woudenberg. All sorts of position changes going on here, but crucially, De Vries is ahead of all of them and chasing down Laritis. Will it be race 2 for the win for the American? Tina goes round.
Well, that was always going to happen, wasn't it? Brugman got squeezed out there by Stanford and Tadare going into turn 1, and somehow Tadare managed to capture it. But Brugman dives on the inside of Tadare. Look at that now. He's really getting quite anxious. They know that De Vries is pulling away by quite a stretch now. They need to clear Stanford. That's the critical thing, because De Vries is the man who's got the best chance of winning this race if he can catch Laritis.
Argo, man, calm down. You're making contact with everybody. I know you're frustrated, but oh, and there's Brugman too. Contact gives a bit of a nudge there. Tina and all sorts of sticky scenarios. I don't want this to go wrong for him. He needs really to try and just keep it together. He's making contact with Brugman, who goes as well, and then Boudenberg down the inside as well. Wants to go. It's not happening. Brugman rejoins it to fifth, Tina fourth, and then we got everyone in Laritis. What's happened? He's gone round.
Oh, I don't know what's happened there. I can't see it, but yeah, he's gone. He's lost the position. Brugman's up into third, stairs down into fourth, and Wilderberg's all over the back of him as well. So Sven de Vries actually leads this race now, and well, he's going to try and pull away, but I'm sure Brugman's going to have a thing or two to say about that. But he's still got to try and get past Stanford. They go side by side into the last couple of corners, but I don't think Brugman's really got the favoured line here. He's going to try it though. He's going to stick the car on the outside. Stanford's being pretty fair, giving him enough space and then a little bit more as well, but Brugman can't quite clear him. He's going to have to try and get the switchback to go down into the pit straight towards turn one, and again Stanford goes straight defensive, but Brugman's got that momentum and he's got the job done before we've even got to turn one here.
I don't think Stanford fought that one too hard. Through goes Brugman. He'll chase down Laritis and de Vries now. But here comes Tina again on Stanford. Through he goes into fourth. And now he'll chase down Brugman for third. We got battles up and down the field. Van Boudenberg still suffering down in 10th. Watman's dropped some positions too. He's in 8th, but that's still respectable. Riccardo on de Vos, now on Stanford. Is he going to get 2 cars in the space of 2 corners? No, he's not. But he's going to line Stanford up for a potential overtake. But de Vos is still there.
Yeah, they're side by side, aren't they? They're looking so loose going up there.
Oh,
there's
only contact there.
And they're still side by side. This is incredible stuff.
Well, these BMWs going to take a bit of a bashing, to be honest. I'm sure Bricalo won't look too kindly on that from de Vos. He'll be wanting to get that position back. That is for sure. Stanford, though, acting as the perfect stopgap for Bricalo on de Vos. Because he's just not as quick as everyone else, but he's doing a good job to hold fifth. Some tricky defending from Stanford here. Fair play to him. He's entitled to defend that fifth, but de Vos is going to want to get through, as is Bricalo. I wonder how much he's going to defend this one.
Yeah, he's going defensive already, and de Vos is going to have to try and go around the outside, but there's just not enough room for him there, and he's having to slot back in and just wait even more longer. Really tries to get a grip on the curbing and looks to the outside, but we saw that Brugman couldn't pull it off around the outside there, and again de Vos, that's great, that is. He just got up the inside right at the last second. There's a bit of contact between the two over the final corner, and it looks like they're going to be side by side down the straight, and I think Ricciardo's going to try and push de Vos past as well.
Ricciardo doesn't want to make it 3 wide. He's not going to make it 3 wide, but he can't look down the inside. There's no room, and he's got to yield. But here comes Simon Watman all of a sudden. He has a look. He's not going to make it work. Stanford on the outside gives Watman the ideal line. But I can imagine if I was Eric Stanford, I'd be feeling pretty nervous at the moment because he's got all these cars battling you. Stanford hits the grass. Watman gets slightly blocked. Vink is pushing him around this turn here. He wants through as well. Watman is going to have to try and get through. Ricciardo and de Vos finding out. Laritis and Tina within range of each other. But Lars Brugman through in a second and chasing down de Vries.
Yeah, it looks like Laritis has made another mistake there. I feel that he's lost quite a lot of time in this first sector at a full 2.5 seconds there lost. So definitely must have had an excursion or something. So Brugman is up into second. And further back, it's still battling away. Oh, who's that gone round?
That's Bricalo. Bricalo has had a round there. He's going to drop positions. He can't get it going again. Metcalf into the top 10. He just spins it twice in a row. Watman gets a promotion to 7th. Stanford to 6th. De Vos to 5th, etc. But Tina, Laritis is still battle going on. And it looks like Brugman is starting to take time out of the race, but not at a pace that's very quick.
Yep. Still quite a bit this race left to go, though. We've seen a lot of racing already, but we're only coming to the end of lap 5. It's been that fast and ferocious. I'm surprised we're only on lap 5 with the amount of racing we've seen. Oh, Laritis has gone wide again, and it's contact between self and Steck over the final corner.
Oh, and round he goes! Round he
Yeah.
goes, Argo there, just again involved in another incident, unfortunately. This time Lucas went off though, and Argo there, well, I don't really think he could do much, and then Lucas, and then, ooh. He's been involved in a couple of incidents this race, Teeter, and I'm not sure how many of them the stewards are going to look kindly on.
Yeah, I feel like that one though, Laritis kind of rejoined a little bit unsafely. It's actually gone off again, has Laritis in turn 1, and he's all the way down, well out of the top 10 now, really far away from Piccolo. He just closed the door a little bit too much to there, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Benefit of the doubt is always a nice thing to be given, but while there is no doubt that we're going to seriously hot battle for P5. 4 cars within a second of each other at the moment. As Tina in front goes round, we see that on the cameras. Now it's a 4-way battle for P4 within a second of each other. Stanford leads, Watman leads, Vink leads Van Boudenberg, and Metcalf is there to pick up the pieces if this goes tragically wrong, which it's not looking to do in all fairness. But Perry Vink wants through a Watman around the outside. It's not going to work. Will he get the switchback? No, he won't.
No, it's still good passing here, and Stanford is doing an excellent job in 4th place right now. He's just positioning his car where he needs to. Not the quickest, but certainly defending well. But Watman has got a thing to think about as he goes side by side in the chicane, and there's contact between the two. And somehow Bing managed to come out of that well unscathed and with the position.
Bing with a very good exit there. Watman, we don't see go for moves that often, but when he does, he's very fair about it. A very good guy to race, Simon Watman. Very nice to see him do well as well. P6, very respectable for the Swede, and I'm sure he'll be very happy about it, though. The De Vries-Brookman battle rages on. 2 seconds is the gap now. It was 3 before. Laws is taking time out of him here as Van Boudenberg moves past Watman for 6th now, chases down Vink and Stanford, and let's be honest, even if Perry Vink gets through, a top 5 would be good for Stanford.
It certainly would be, well, it could be a top 4, it could be a top 8. Who knows? Because it's so close here, isn't it? Oh, there's contact.
Oh, yes, there is. Van Boudenberg and Watman have had an altercation there. And, well, again, still rare to see Watman get involved in incidents. But, yeah, Van Boudenberg, well, Watman went on the inside. He was turning left. He was turning left as much as he could there. And Van Boudenberg with, Peter Van Boudenberg, that was a bit cheeky of you. He kept turning into Watman. And that's what I think forced him into the wall, unfortunately. And Watman is the loser in all that. He goes down to 9th.
Yeah, Vink has actually just got past Stanford as well. So after losing the positions earlier on, Vink has found himself all the way back up into 4th, and that's good by him. It's shown that that race 2 run wasn't a fluke at all, and certainly there's a little bit of pace on here. He's definitely improved as the evening has gone on.
He has done, yeah, he's done quite well, and the whole P5 for Stanford is good. Vink in P4, it's going to be very solid 3 races for Perry Vink. He's going to be very happy with himself after that, I imagine. Stanford will be reasonably pleased for 5th if he can hold it from Metcalf, who, as you said, Sam, one to watch. He's up into 6th and he's holding it and chasing down for 5th. Do keep an eye on him, but keep a beadier eye on Lars Brugman, my pick for the race win. He's got the gap to De Vries under a second.
Yeah, we've still got quite a few laps to go as well. So Brugman, all of a sudden, looking like one of the more favourite drivers to win this race now. Further back, I think Stanford and Metcalf are batting it out into turn 1, and Metcalf just takes a bit of a wide line there. And, he's been spun round. He's been spun round by Bricalo. Such a shame, but he'll get back going all the way down in 8th. He's actually got the car stuck up against the wall as well, so he might lose a few more positions.
I think Metcalf just misjudged the turn-in, and, well, Bricalo was there. Don't know how much room he left, but he is down in 9th now, and all of a sudden his moment of glory does come to an end. Though Stanford's still on for a top 5, which is still very, very respectable.
Yeah, it seems to be everyone around him just seems to be crashing into each other, don't they? They just try and have a go at Stanford and then end up making a mistake or something. So, good effort by Stanford. Let's just hope he can keep it up. And Bricalo's go round again.
Oh, yeah, Bricalo round again. Another problem for him. Loretta's too far behind to capitalise, though I imagine those he'll hold 7th. But he'll give breathing space to Van Boudenberg and Stanford ahead, who I'm sure will appreciate that very much. At the moment, it is a Wouters 1-3 with De Vries leading and De Vos 3rd. But Lars Brugman, again, he's not. Now he's there with De Vries. The gap is not coming down as much. It was 1 whole second at the previous sector, so not much in it between them. What is it going to be at the start-finish line? We'll wait and see. It is going to be 2 tenths less.
Yeah, these guys are actually both pumping in very good lap times in the high 1 minute 40. That's really the best lap times that we've seen today. So definitely both pushing 100%, and that's exactly what we want to see. These two giants here really battling it out of each other. And to be fair to DeVos, he's not that far behind. He's not really going to catch these two, but certainly there to capitalise if anyone makes a mistake up front, and just keeping them honest behind.
And that is what you got to do. Just keep people honest, and that is ultimately the name of the game in this instance. Just stay there and apply pressure. And Brugman applying pressure by keeping the gap coming down. I'd argue that's 7/10 again. And he is starting to really close in on the Vries and make his move. In fact, look how close they are now.
They are so close together, aren't they? That's definitely, half a second, if that.
Oh, I think we've lost a bot to Voss from this race. Unfortunately, connection problems means he's just stopped there. And that is going to promote Eric Stanford into 4th, which will be his best race result by a mile. But he's under threat from Van Boudenberg for it. And this is an interesting battle to win. But look at Brugman all up the back of De Vries.
He's really going for it now, isn't he? This is definitely the big battle for the lead that we've been waiting for. It seems tonight that it's either been De Vries or Brugman up front. Finally, we've got them both up front, and they're both so close in the championship as well. We couldn't really ask for more in this race 3 now. Whoever wins this race is going to really take a big shot at the other driver. This is a huge moment as Brugman's looking right onto the back of De Vries into turn 1.
He is, yes, we've waited all night for these two to be in a direct combat with each other. Now we've got it, Brugman and De Vries. These two, we've got the Dutchman and the half-Dutchman, both going at it for the crowning glory here in the Dutch circuit. And De Vries, I'm sure, will want to make it 2 wins. Brugman wants to make it 1 win. Van Boudenberg and Stanford giving it absolutely 100% on each other at the moment. Stanford, though, not the best line. He loses 4th to Van Boudenberg, but still in contention for a top 5. Do not forget that, Eric. You'll want to remember it. Brugman and De Vries, though, still hammer and tongs at each other for the lead of this race.
Yep, it's really close between the two. I'm keeping everything focused on that because I just think any second now Brugman's going to have a go. He missed out on a potential win in race 1 after making that mistake, and now I'm sure he's focused more than ever to try and get this victory here in race 3. De Vries has already got one in the bag today, so it's super close between these guys, and with only a couple of laps left as well, this is really hotting up.
Yep, hold on to your seatbelt. I think this is going to be a very dramatic conclusion to this race. It's going to be interesting. We're on lap 10. We're going to start the second to last lap. We're going to have De Vries leading it, and then Brugman second. We're going to have Perry Vink on course for a podium in 3rd. Stanford 4th, Van Boudenberg 5th. Bricalo, though, chasing down Van Boudenberg, and Stanford finds himself in a Vandermolle scenario where he's got someone chasing him, so if he can hold out this lead, he can win this battle for 4th. And he may just get the position that he's dreamed of if Bricalo is too busy fighting Van Boudenberg. But importantly, De Vries, Brugman on.
It certainly is. Brugman just gets sliding sideways into turn 1 as we start this penultimate lap, and he's certainly pushing De Vries for everything that he's got. De Vries is using the track and then a little bit more, as is Brugman, really shadowing his line as well. It's so close between these two. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't tell if someone's going to make a move. Oh, we've got to change a position here, have we? Or, yeah, Van Boudenberg's gone past Stanford for 4th.
Yep, it was on the straight, but Van Boudenberg gets a little bit loose and Stanford goes through. Bricalo has to take avoiding action. Stanford back up to 4th. It seems Spain is determined to see him finish there at the moment. But what about determination from Brugman? He is right on the back of De Vries still. Now is he going to make his move? He tries to pressure it, but he can't do. He's just doing the Brugman thing of trying to force De Vries into a mistake. But will it work?
He's trying everything, isn't he? He's pushing. De Vries just a little bit wide there, getting on the grass. It doesn't seem to have hurt him too much as they go down towards the chicane. Is Brugman going to have a go now? No, he's not. He's just too far back. He's running out of corners to do it. He's still got another lap, of course, but there's only a certain number of places he can overtake on this track, and it's either going to come down to desperation or Brugman's just going to have to live with where he is. I just can't see De Vries making a mistake, but I could be wrong and I don't want to jinx it.
Well, we'll have to see. Coming up to the last lap now, it is a sort of three-quarter Dutch clash between these two. Who is going to get the win? That is the question. And Lars Brugman wanted to be him. Sven De Vries wanted to be him. Will it be either? Will it be neither? We'll have to see. That is the question. Through Tarzan they go. Nothing happening. Stanford and Picarlo chasing it down for fourth as well. But Brugman here, is he going to make it happen? He really wants it. You know he wants it. There's no denying he wants it. He'd be lying if he said he didn't. But he's got to get past Sven de Vries to make it happen.
He certainly has, and he's pressured De Vries. De Vries has been weaving all over the track, trying to break the toe. I wouldn't say Brugman gets a huge toe, but he's certainly gaining through these fast-flowing corners, and it's just getting ever and ever closer. Is Brugman going to have a go? Is De Vries? He's just looking a little bit defensive at the moment, not using quite all the track that he could do. And I think down to the chicane is where it's probably all going to kick off, but maybe Brugman can sneak one in before that because he's getting ever and ever closer.
He is, yes. I think even for the ice cool Lars Brugman, there'll be nerves brewing in that performance motorsport car. He will know that this is all about the win now. He's going to have a go into Hans Est, you'd think. He doesn't. He waits for De Vries. He's on the inside. He wants to switch back. I think Lars is going to chance it on the front straight. But it's not a chance you want to be taking. We got Stanford overtaken by Ricciardo. That's a battle that's going to go on in its own right. But Sven de Vries round the final corner wants to make it 2 in a row. Lars Brugman is going to give him the fight of his life down the front straight. I don't know who's going to win it. Could it be Lars? Could it be Sven? Who's it going to be across the start-finish line? I don't know. Call it! And there's contact in the end, but it is De Vries. Brugman second. And, well, Sven got it by 5/10 of a second. And, well, the contact at the end, not great, but it's going to be Perry Vink, going to be third by the end of it. Ilja Ricciardo is going to be fourth. And then still, even though he's not fourth, it's going to be a super respectable P5 for Eric Stanford. Hats off to him indeed. He's held that position very, very well. Lucas Loritas will finish in P6. Then Argo T to 7th. Brett Metcalf 8th. Peter Van Boutenberg 9th. Wicks 10th. Azira Glue should come up 11th. Then Watman 12th. Then his other Watman 13th. Then Bart DeVos, the only retirement of the race. But... Well, it was a close finish, wasn't it, Sam? Although the ending in itself, a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, really, really close there. And I'm really surprised that Brugman didn't just try and stick it up the inside going into the chicane. I thought he was going to go for it. I thought I was just waiting for him to dive out at the last second, and then it just never happened, did it? But nonetheless, it was close across the line. And perhaps if there was another... I don't know, maybe 100 meters, 200 meters, maybe a little bit further. It might have been a different story for who wins this race. But De Vries just about got it right there, just about held on, picks up 2 wins today, which I didn't see that happening after the absolute disaster that was race 1 for him. But gets the win nonetheless. Brugman doesn't actually win one today. He was so strong around here as well. So I'm also surprised about that one. And for my surprise driver of the day, it has to go to Perry Vink because once again, he's picked up 3rd place. And I didn't think he was going to get 3rd place here in the second race because he started further back and had a bit of a coming together in the first half of the race as well and lost quite a few positions, but fought his way back. And in the end, it was a comfortable 3rd place for him as well. So I'm really, really pleased for him. And considering what he's done earlier on in the season as well, this is a huge couple of results for him, and I hope he just kind of carries it on now because he's done such a good job. The other guy I want to mention as well was Eric Stanford. In the end, he's picked up 5th place there after some stellar defending and just looked calm all the way through that race. So again, I'm happy for him, and he is very much deserving of a round of applause from me.
Yep, and very good race from him indeed, and I'm sure he'll be happy about that. I think he is happy about that. Personal best for the season from him, and a very good driven drive from Stanford, really, to get that P5. And I'm sure now we will start interviewing people. So, who are we going to start with? That is the question. Well, why don't we bring a certain Dutchman into this chat? But we've got a choice to choose from, haven't we? Let's start bringing people into the lobby, I think. And I think we should definitely start with none other than the race 3 winner and our previous race winner as well when he'd like to join us. So if we could get those people in the booth, that would be lovely. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be working for me. So I think Sam might have to.
I have insufficient permissions. Let me just message someone.
Yeah, that can get things sorted.
To try to sort this out. We will get some interviews, I promise, but it's just taking a little bit of time. It's just like no one really wants to walk through the door. Everyone's a little bit shy today.
The question of who wants to be interviewed at this race, but nonetheless, we are going to get interviewees in. And we are going to start with none other than the winner of race 3 and the winner of race 2, Sven de Vries.
Oh, hey, what's up? I wasn't expecting to have to go first.
You tell us, Sven, winner of race 2 and winner of race 3. Problems in race 1 for you, though?
Yeah, race 1, I unfortunately disconnected. A good start up into second, and everyone was gone. So that was a bit unfortunate, but yeah, made well up for it in the second and third race. Definitely wasn't the fastest again, just got to work during qualifying. So yeah, I just came back in race 1 and treated that race as my practice, I suppose. But race 2 and 3, I was still, a lot slower, but I made good use of trying to overtake and pass other people when they made small mistakes, and work my way up, and then just be consistent and not make any mistakes. So yeah, pretty happy there. Got a little heated at the end with Lars in a good way. He was obviously a lot quicker, so he closed in pretty rapidly. So yeah, to defend pretty hard.
Yeah, it was some pretty good defending from you throughout that race and some pretty good attacking from Lars, who we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, for you, Sven, that will be crucial because you lost points in the first race. You gained them in the second and third, though. So your championship fight really on at the moment still.
Yeah, I mean, I got a little lucky that Bart and Lars didn't score too well in race 2. So that made up for my bad result in race 1. But other than that, yeah, 50 points in the bag. I don't think I'm going to get anything for race 2, so just 50 points, but it's a good haul. Can't complain. And 3 wins for Wouters in this race weekend, so yeah.
Yep, and some brilliant points from you. Going forward into the future then for you, Sven, obviously more points for you. Championship hunt still alive. You still thinking win the title?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, if I keep going on like this, yeah, I see absolutely no reason why I can't.
Yeah, and of course, you really leading the dominant charge for Wouters Automotive at the moment alongside Bart DeVos and at times Lars Brugman, who you were racing this race through a different team. But yeah, teams-wise, you've pretty much got that under lockdown at the moment. You think you can maintain that too?
I think we can. I think we have a very strong lineup with Bart and myself. Usually pretty consistent. We don't retire very easily. Yeah, I mean, I hope we can. It'll be the first championship Wouters has ever won, so I hope we can give him that.
Well, good luck to you indeed, Sven. Thanks for joining us, and best of luck in the season, of course.
Thank you.
And we move from an American to a Dutchman in the form of Lars Brugman now. Hello, Lars.
Hello.
Bit of a change of scenery for you. Not driving for Wouters Automotive today, but rather for performance racing. How was that?
The car had a different color, but apart from that, it was the same.
I can imagine so, but obviously it would have felt the same, but a different team for you, having a different team out, but still challenging for the leads and the leaders and the other people in the Drivers' Championship. Not a full-time driver in the series. You've only done some of the races, but definitely wanting to do well here, and you've got some good results out of today, Lars.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Obviously, race 2 didn't go as planned because me and Bart had a bit of a coming together in the beginning, and then yeah, we couldn't get going immediately. Eventually, we got going, but we were so far behind that we really couldn't catch up to the pack. So that was a bit of a shame. But apart from that, it was a good race weekend.
Yeah, good outing for you then, Lars. And well, it's quite good to see you back on the grid indeed. Very nice to see you back, in fact. And do you think you'll be doing any more races before then?
Depends. If I have a bit of time, then I might do some more. But I know in the next couple of months I won't have much time, so we'll see. We'll take it week by week. But I would like to. It's great fun.
Yep, and that's what it's all about in the end, enjoying yourself. Thanks very much for joining us, Lars, and great to have you with us once again.
Yeah, no worries.
And finally, we turn to someone who I don't believe we've had in the booth this season, but we have the pleasure of having now our Race 3 podium sitter, Perry Vink.
Hello.
Great to have you with us, Perry, and great driving from you today. Some very, very strong results. A podium in race 3 and other assorted good moments for you. Do you like Zandvoort any more than you did before now?
Well, I already liked Zandvoort for what it was, but yeah, it's a cool circuit. I like it. It's yeah, it's fun.
I'm sure you like it even more after some good results today, of course. But yeah, for you, real breakout round, you could argue, and yeah, fantastic racing from you. Hopefully you can keep that going into the future then.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope I can make some time for it. To have more races for it.
I'm hoping you can as well. We've not talked to you this season so far, Perry, to be honest. So it's going to be very interesting to see how you do throughout the rest of the season. Are there any tracks coming up that you're particularly looking forward to?
Sorry, can you repeat it?
Well, no problem. I was just saying, are there any tracks in the remainder of the season that you're particularly looking forward to racing at?
Well, I didn't look the all the tracks, but I don't know what kind of tracks we have in competition. So.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Just taking it one race at a time then, I guess.
Sorry?
I guess you're just taking the season one race at a time.
No, I will do multiple races.
Yeah, well, great to hear. Thank you very much, Perry, for joining us, and a pleasure to have you in the booth. Well done in your podium as well.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe that's going to round out the interviews. Unfortunately, just 3, but 3 is still very enough drivers to get a nice, wide, varied perspective on the evening's event, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah, certainly an eventful evening. I think we saw a measured race 1, an incredibly strange race 2, and race 3 was really where a lot of the action really came to life. I think a few drivers lost their heads, but certainly it was exciting stuff and lots of battles throughout the field to keep us entertained throughout that third and final race. So once again, it was a track that I thought maybe we might struggle with a bit of action here because it's not the easiest one to overtake on, but they proved us wrong, and it's been fantastic stuff to watch.
Yep, indeed. Been a fantastic 3 races here at Zandvoort, and we got brilliant BMW action coming up in 2 weeks' time. And of course, the next round of the Formula 3 Championship next week, where me and Sam do the good old switcheroo. He does lead commentary, I do second commentary, and I'm sure that's going to be just as good racing as well, Sam.
Yeah, certainly. It's a strange one. Barber Motorsports Park. It's well known for American sports like IndyCar, and it's certainly lacking in terms of tarmac runoff areas, much like Zandvoort here today as well. So a tricky one for the drivers. That's certainly going to be one to watch out for because every cars around there, I think, very much will suit that kind of track layout.
I'm sure. Well, Barber going to be a very interesting track to race at for sure, and we will have that in a week's time. But until that time, I've been Josh Anderson, and from everyone here at WCS, we'll see you in a week's time for the racing action in the American continent. But until then, it's goodbye.